What's up? Welcome back to Kletus Ray's Roadside Service. I've been doing all kinds of shit. I have not really been recording. I have actually recorded a couple of podcasts and then deleted them because I don't think I was in a good. I wasn't feeling very good. You know, some of them they started out good, and I probably should have saved part of them, but I decided not to. It turned into me bitching about shit that made me feel like I was being a bitch, and I was being a little bitch. I still feel like a little bit of a bitch, not gonna lie. But we're rolling today. You know, we got this. We're going down to Alva tonight. We got to go get loaded and head down to Alva. What could be better than doing that? Probably doing something else also. You know, that would be ideal. So I don't know. My day today is not going to be a very long day. We just had Labor Day weekend. Labor Day weekend is over. Back to the labor, which is fine. I'm not really complaining too much about that. I've had a couple of decent jobs here and there, but I don't know. I'll just make it kind of quick. I went, and I don't really want to get into it too much, but I went and I asked my boss for a raise, and I worked on the weekend. That was my raise. I get to now. He knows that I am looking for more money, so the answer to that is to work on the weekends. So that is where I'm at now, and I'm not too fucking happy about it. So I don't really want to say I'm looking for other employment, but if other employment's looking for me, I might say hello. I don't know. It really bugs the fuck out of me how much I've been lied to right to my face. So, anyways, we're on to better things. We'll talk about other shit. So over the weekend, I had a good time. Did a little bit of riding, not a whole lot. I went by that spot where they do wheelies and shit, and yeah, I was. What was I doing? Oh, that was the day. That was Saturday night because I went to go to work, and then guess what? So the raise that I was given was weekend work, and the weekend work canceled on me. So I mean, I got paid for 4 hours. That's kind of what we decided to do. Me and the other guy and our boss, I guess, was like, oh, they don't want to do the work. We'll just bill them 4 hours because we drove out there and brought all the equipment and everything. That was a confined space entry. Well, we weren't doing entry. We were just the rescue team and supplying the equipment to make the entry. And I don't know. We sat out there for like half an hour, and they were like, "Hey, yeah, we don't want to wash the pits right now." I'm like, "Okay, that's odd." They didn't even drain them down because in the car wash, uh, the they got a big pit underground where all the dirty wash goes, and all the trash, like all the stuff that gets blown off these new trucks, gets all put down in there, and they got to clean it. And this is going on 3 weeks without it being cleaned, so it's going to be a mess next weekend. Maybe I will be on that job. Maybe I could use a good sit around and get paid job. That would make me feel a little bit better. Since I'm probably going to be working the weekends from here on out. Some BS. And well, my boss didn't believe me. I was like, yeah, well, last year I worked 30 weekends. He's like, 30 weekends? That's every other weekend. That's more than every other weekend. I was like, yeah, and I took vacation. And I did have some weekends off, but I mean, I worked like almost every weekend. No. I'm like, yeah. He's like, no, there's no way. I'm like, brother, I will show you my timesheet because your timesheet is gonna be kind of hard to fit. You have to look at every single one, and my booklet. You can just flip through the pages and you can see what I wrote down. I mean, you might not want to take what I write down to believe, but anyways, that's where I'm at. Um, so I don't know. Been a little upset lately, and I don't know. I do like to bitch on the podcast, but I like to bitch about shit that doesn't really matter. And this stuff kind of really matters to me. And I don't know. It's looking like I don't know what I'm gonna do. I kind of feel like I'm stuck, like I'm a chipmunk under your porch, and you want to get rid of me. And I'm like, fuck! I want to leave too. Let me leave. I just need somewhere to go. I don't know. Maybe that's not a good analogy. I really need to spit. Uh, but anyways, so Saturday night went out, tried to work, couldn't work, left. I was on the bike. Um, I went to go hang out with a buddy. That was before the work. I went to go hang out with a buddy, and he was like, "Hey, come on, are you gonna be in town?" I said, "Yeah." Well, I got to work later in the night, but whatever. He's like, "Okay, we'll come over earlier in the day." Me and my other buddy, we're gonna hop in. He's got a 72 El Camino. Is nice, and he's like, "Yeah, we're gonna go cruise around. Come cruise with us." So I rode over to his house, all excited, and then he's like, "Oh, my other buddy ain't gonna come over, so we're just gonna hang out here." He's like, "I actually need to work on my front porch," so I helped him work on his front porch, and then I rode home. Well, I rode to work is what I did. So I was like, "Damn, I wanted to ride around with you," but all right. I don't know. It was good to hang out with him either way. And then I went to work, didn't happen. Got on my bike, was riding home, stopped by, I got Chipotle. I feel like I was kind of profiled by the police because they were sitting in a corner of a parking lot. And when I rode by Planet Sub first, and I looked at the door. It was like 7:45, and they said they closed at 8 on the door. So I was like, I just rode past them, and I went up and I went to Chipotle because Chipotle stays open kind of late. And then when I parked and got off my bike, all those police cars parked in the parking lot right across from where I parked. I'm like, okay. And I went in and I ordered. I sat down and I ate. Hard to eat Chipotle on a motorcycle. Mm-hmm. There we go. I spit now. Yeah, and then I rode off after I finished eating. They didn't follow me or anything, but it was weird that they pulled up into the empty Chipotle parking lot and followed me, basically. It was kind of odd, but whatever. They can do whatever they want. It's a free country. You guys can park wherever you want. I'm gonna park over here. I didn't do nothing wrong. Psych, bitch. These fucking fuckheads are trying to pass me on the right hand. They're trying to squeeze around me. No, motherfucker. Not today. I'm actually need the right hand lane. You stupid hoes. They look upset back there. Hey, you can pass me on the left. I'd enjoy that. Go ahead. Um. Anyways, rode by that spot where they're doing wheelies and shit. Now it had just started to rain as I took off, and went by the warehouse and met up with some of the guys. I didn't do anything. I kind of I don't know the rules out there. Like they all park off to one side, and then they do wheelies in the middle. And I ended up riding in from the other side. And I thought, you know, If I would have tried to do a wheelie right there, I better have crashed. Because if I tried to do a wheelie and it didn't look good, I mean, these guys probably would have beat me up. As long as if I do a wheelie and then I fucking fall and bust my ass, at least they're gonna all run up. They're not gonna try to help. They just want to get pictures. But at least they'd be like, "Oh shit, this fucking old fat dude, just crashed his DR 650. Holy shit, guys, look at this. Check out my Instagram." That would have been better than been like just meow and then meow meow and then they're just meow flying by. I'm like, oh, and then they'd be like, don't even talk to us, you fucking fat fuck. Maybe they wouldn't have done that, but that's how it would have felt. And I kind of did feel like that anyways, because I just rode in nice and slow and then pulled over and pulled next up to some of the bikes and then got off and walked up and they're like, hey. I'm like, hey. They're like, you're late. I'm like, I'm late. And they're like, yeah, we're all getting ready to leave. I was like, oh. They're like, is that a DR 650? I said, oh, fuck yes it is. Fuck yes it is. They're like, that thing is fucking old. I'm like, yeah. It sure is. I was like, it hauls my ass around though. They're like, okay, but I don't know. I'm kind of awkward in conversations, which is I don't know. I guess it kind of makes sense. I'm much more confident on the podcast. All right, car, you got to speed up. I'm speeding up. I have nowhere to go. I have nowhere to fucking go. You got to speed up. I got cars next to me. I'm sorry, Toyota. I really didn't want to do that to you, but I got this. Oh, now you're giving me room. Yeah, I'd like to fucking get over. Okay, thank you. I guess I could have put my blinker on, probably got over, but sorry, Toyota. You got to learn how to merge, bud. You got to fucking hit that skinny pedal. Get the fuck up around me, cause I don't have. I'm not agile. I'm a tanker truck. Okay. So yeah, I rode over there, saw the guys, and then it was kind of cool to ride out with them. But then just hopped on I went the opposite way of everybody else, and then went home and hung out. My wife and kids were gone. They were at their mother's house, or my wife's mom's house, and my in-laws. That's what I'll say. Yeah, rewind that, put that in there, and then hung out at home for a while by myself, I don't know. It's always weird to sit at home by myself, but played some video games and then watched some TV, and then they came home and then they went to bed and I went to bed. Um, Watching a little bit of YouTube. Nothing really exciting going on YouTube right now, at least with what I watch. I've been trying to find some new shit to see. I've been watching some I don't know. There's this a guy. I think his name is Johnny Harris, and he was talking about tap water, and he was doing blind taste testing. I mean, that's just him and what he thinks, but he picked tap water every time out of like all the bottles of water you can get. He was picking tap water. He's like, tastes good. Now I don't know what kind of tap water he's got. I'd like to taste some because I feel like if I drank a bottle of Fiji, I would know. I wouldn't know it was Fiji, but I would know this is some damn good water. But maybe it's just that bottle that makes you feel like it's so good. But anyways, yeah, I've been watching some really boring shit on YouTube. So that was Saturday. Sunday, we went out. We went to go see my grandpa. We were just sitting around the house, didn't have nothing going on. I was like, I'm bored as fuck. All right, and there was things I could have done at home. I could have cleaned. Don't really want to do that, but I could have. I could have went out and mowed again, like I should have, and I should have, but I didn't. I also could have gone out and worked on the square body, cleaned the garage. If out of all the cleaning I would do, the garage would be the best one to do, and I could really make a good dent in a short amount of time. But I decided to just sit around and then call Grandpa. loaded the kids up, went and saw Grandpa. He was so ecstatic to see us. He was so happy. It was a nice little unexpected visit. I mean, I called him beforehand, but shortly beforehand. So he's like, "Oh yeah, come on over." And my grandma, and grandpa divorced, and they were married for a very, very long time. And then my grandma went a little bit crazy. She's still a little bit crazy. Uh, and my grandpa was like, I don't know, she decided to leave, so she's gone. I don't know. She said he was a drunk, and maybe he is a drunk, and maybe he gets a little rowdy by himself. I don't know. But I've never seen a man without a beer in his hand, and he's been nothing but nice and gentle. That's all I know about him is he's a very nice, gentle man. He'll sit there and talk to you about anything and everything, and he'll just be happy that you're there to listen or hear or talk to him. I don't know. So, anyways, went over there to see him. He was very happy. The kids like to play with the little toys. I don't know if they have lead paint on them. I don't know. We didn't check, but uh, he's got some really old like wooden toys and another little box of like bug parts, and you can like stick them all together and make a crazy looking bug. And that's what my son he has 3 toys in the whole house. I mean, we have thousands of toys in our house, and he has 3 toys, and they would rather go to his house and play with the 3 toys he's got, which makes me just kind of think maybe we need to limit the toys at the house. I don't know what the hell's going on. Like he's got 3 very basic little toys that are old, and the kids love them. He's missing half the pieces to everything he's got. Oh, choking on the intake stroke. Suck down a damn suck down a chew strand on my intake stroke of my body. Holy moly, I need a water. Give me a water. Damn, boy. That was like a backfire. I don't know what the hell that. What do you call that? If breathing is an intake stroke, exhaust stroke. I don't know if I have a combustion stroke, but I guess that could have been it. Anyways, saw my grandpa. He was happy. Loved going over there to see him. We should go over there more often, but we don't. It's just kind of hard to get in, get out, and get going and stuff. And I don't know. My wife, she doesn't have a bad time every time she goes over there, but it seems like every time we go out, she'd rather do something else, which is fine. I was supposed to go riding with my other grandpa and my uncle that just got the new bike. Um, but the weather was playing games with us, man. They're saying it's going to rain all day. And I look at the radar and I'm like, rain is moving in. I don't want to go out and ride. And then it's like, oh, it's not going to rain. And then it starts to rain. And it's like, what the fuck is going? How wrong can you be? You guys are all backwards as fuck over here. It did rain. I don't know. It rained at some point. Um, it was raining on us and it wasn't raining on us. It's just weird weather going on. I don't know. They're just losing it over there at the weather station. They just don't know what the fuck is going on. Which is, I guess, fine. I don't know. I didn't really want to risk it riding because I was going to have to ride like an hour and a half. Maybe not that far, but pretty fucking far to go see my grandpa. And it looked like it was going to be, I was either going to be riding into the rain or when I was done, I was going to be riding into the rain on my way back. And I was like, I'm a pussy for not doing it. But Grandpa also was like, I don't want to go ride a couple of the time because we had like 3 different rides set up to do. The first one failed, the second one failed, and then the third one, he was like, oh, hey, you guys want to go riding? This was yesterday afternoon. And I'm like, my wife had already taken off. So yeah, didn't get to go ride with them. I didn't ride the bike to work today. I don't know. Maybe around my work this coming weekend, I can do something. I don't know. Probably not. Um, but so Monday is where the good things happened. I mean, well, all these were good things, but where I got to work on a little project of my own. So we got home from we went to my mom's, ate some barbecue. This was on Monday. Hung around the house, didn't really do a whole lot, and then went to my mom's, hung out, ate some barbecue. Went back home, and then my wife was like, "Hey, I'm gonna go hang out with my sister. Adios." I said, "Bye bye," and then she left me with the kids. And the kids were like, "We want to play outside." And it was really nice out yesterday. You know, not too bright, not too cold, dry. So I said, "All right, let's play outside." I was like, "Hey, maybe I should fuck around with my square body." You know, I was kind of not the whole opportunity was just too good not to do it. So um, pulled the creeper out in the toolbox and got underneath that son of a bitch and took the starter off, threw it up on the hood, took the starter apart, well, just like the block that bolts to the engine, and then put a new shim in there. I could have doubled up my shims, but I decided to just put one shim in there. And I also got some washers that that I modified a little bit to make them fit to space it out a little bit more. And got it all bolted up and then got underneath the truck. Now, this didn't go as smooth as it sounds. It didn't go horrible, but, I got kids. They're running around, they're screaming, they're throwing shit at each other, they're drawing chalk on each other's faces. And I'm like, well, you guys calm the fuck down. I'm like trying to get these washers specifically where they need to be and get the bolts in and everything. And the kids are just going nuts out front. And I'm like, my neighbor's over there laughing because he hears me just, will you guys calm down? I'm not like yelling. I mean, I'm yelling at the kids, but I'm not like being. I'm just they're just going crazy, man. It's like they don't even realize they're outside. I don't know. They think they're inside and they can just scream at each other like they do normally. Brother and sister, that's how they are. Anyways, I got the starter fixed up, thrown on the truck. I, tested it out. It turns. I'm like, sweet. So I threw a little bit of gas down the carb and then stuck the fuel line in a gas jug, and it fired up. I was like, damn, this thing runs better than anything else I've got. Well, I mean, the dirt bike runs pretty damn good, and the 92 starts up too. But anyways, for sitting as long as it sat and then just putting a little gas in there, it fired right up and scared the children. They were up on the front porch holding their ears. It is kind of loud, but it does have a full exhaust system on it, so it's not too bad. Fire that fucking thing up. Got my Bluetooth connected. For some reason, my passenger side window doesn't work right now. I don't know what's going on with that. Need to look into it. But everything that I wired up is working properly until I'm like, all right, let's shut her down. Because I noticed the fuel filter that's right above the passenger side valve cover is leaking fuel. And I'm like, ooh, I don't want to cause a fire. So let me shut the truck off. And I got that big electrical shutoff switch that is supposed to turn the engine off. And it didn't. I could not turn the truck off. So I pulled the hose out of the gas bucket and I was like, I'll just let it sit here and run for a little bit and it'll eventually, the bowl will empty out of the carb and the line will empty and it'll just start sucking air and it'll turn off. And it was taking a while. So it was just sitting there idling. I could have got in and revved it up or something, but I just grabbed an old pair of pants and I threw it up on the carb and let it turn itself off, and or just choked it. And I was just like fucking beaming. I was like, thank the fucking Lord, this thing fucking runs. The starter doesn't hit the flywheel. Most of the shit works. Hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah. Now I feel like I'm good at a really good, like, this isn't my starting point, but for the 2025 season, I don't think I've touched that truck really at all. So I'm at a really good like starting point for 2025. We're getting into some nicer weather where I'm going to be able to go out and work on it. And I've got most of the shit that I'm going to need. I mean, there might be a little bit here and there that I need to buy, but for the most part, I got what I need. I got a new fuse box, coolant. God damn it. I'm not running hot or anything, so I'm just going to keep it moving. My coolant is low. This is not good. This motherfucker better not ding the whole goddamn time. It was full when I checked when I did my pre-trip. I did a nice pre-trip. I checked all the tires. I checked everything, and now it's saying I'm low on coolant. I don't think I'm leaking any coolant. I think it's just I don't know what the fuck is going on. I'll have to pull over and check this out. Maybe not pull over. I'll just keep driving to my destination. Keep an eye on the temp gauge here. Anyways, if you guys can manage with the fucking dinging in the background, I don't know if I can. Yeah, so the truck is at a really good spot. Just need to put a new fuse box in there because I think that junky fuse box that I bought from the junkyard is just not going to be good. I like the other one I got anyways. It's going to be much cleaner and nicer to use and color coded because right now I only had a few different lengths of wire, so I had to label each wire. But whenever I was when the reason I was having trouble and I kind of stopped working on the truck was because the starter went out. But before the starter went out, the thing would not fire up at all. It wasn't doing anything. And me and my buddy Luke, we ended up messing with it one night, and we got it wired up properly, but then the starter went out, and I was like, well, fuck. So I got the new starter and got that all good, and all that, like, because I moved some wiring around. I was like, the coil, there we go. We're not dinging anymore. Hell yeah. The wiring, I had to move some. That might be one of my problems, is I think I wired the coil either to the power wire that goes to the alternator or something. I don't know, but I'm back feeding power some way. Something's going on that ain't right. But it shouldn't be too big of a deal for me to go through and rewire the thing properly. And it would be kind of nice to just do it all nice and good. And this new fuse box, I think it's got a blinker relay in it, so that's going to help out for the rest of the shit and my headlights and all that good shit. So, I was basically done with it at that point in time. My son was ready to go inside. My daughter, she wanted to go on a ride on the dirt bike. So I yanked my son back outside and I took him for rides up and down the street. They were excited about that. Really need to get me a DOT helmet for the kids. I'd feel much more comfortable, and I might ride them up to the gas station if I have that. But I also want to do a little bit of work and try to put foot pegs on the front of the dirt bike in some way, shape, or form. I want to get some sort of a footing situation so they don't, because they like to put their foot right on the exhaust, and I'm like, you can't put your foot there. So right now there's like a little guard that goes around the oil cooler, and I just have them put their foot on the guard, not the oil cooler. So They're doing all right. They don't melt their little shoes and stuff. Um, Come on, truck, downshift. Um, yeah, and then my son and my daughter, I bought them this little electric dirt bike, and the battery was going bad on that thing. All right, what are we doing here? Fucking cars are getting in my goddamn way. I'm trying to get speed. I was going uphill. I couldn't catch any speed, and I got this nice Chevy driver behind me who was nice enough to move out of my way. The fucking Kia and the Mercedes were not so nice. They're like, oh shit, he's in my way. Let's get around him. Let's not let him over. Fuckers. Anyways, electric dirt bike. I The battery is not very good on that thing. It holds a little bit of a charge, but it doesn't have like at all like any power. Like there's no power to it. Like if they start rolling around, they can get going. But so I was like, I don't know. I've been watching a couple of YouTube videos of a guy like taking one of these electric dirt bikes and then mounting up a little gas engine, two-stroke engine to it. So I was like, ooh, I got an extra weed eater head, or not head, but engine in my garage. It's like brand new, but the weed eater, the stick part was all fucked up. Couldn't figure it out. And I got another weed eater that I use normally. So I was like, all right, I'm going to take this thing fucking apart. So grabbed the weed eater, took it out, and took the stem off, and took the little nose piece off, and got it down to the clutch and the spins part and everything. Got all the guards and shit taken off, and I think I'm ready to start cutting up this little electric dirt bike. I thought about swapping out the battery, but I don't know. It wouldn't be too big of a deal to grab a new battery for it, but I don't really like the way it is anyways. So, I don't know. This is probably going to be a project that just sits in my garage forever, taken apart. Now I just have disassembled pieces and parts of machinery laying around in my garage. But I don't know. I'm thinking I might one of these days I'm going to throw all the parts that I need and maybe even some scrap metal and stuff, throw it in the back of the truck and take it to work and put it in my locker at work. So I'll have this little dirt bike, this little engine, and if I do get any time, after work, if I'm like, all right, well, I'm just gonna stick around the shop and wait for everybody to go home, and then I can use all kinds of shit at the shop and cut the frame up on the dirt bike, cut up some little steel pieces so I can get the little engine mounted on the dirt bike. I got to spin the back tire around because the chain is on the right side of the bike, and I'll need because the weed eater spins the other way, I'm going to need to move the chain to the other side of the bike, and then figure out how I'm going to get this thing all mounted up. I'm hoping that I can just like mount the weed eater straight on there. I might have to do some cutting and other stuff, but that's all expected. I just need to figure out how to mount the weed eater to the bike, and then cut and weld the sprocket onto the little clutch for the weed eater. Now I don't know, guys at work. I was like, yeah, I don't know if the clutch on the weed eater is going to be good enough, and they were like, yeah, it's not going to. And I'm like, well, let's find out first before I go through the whole process of like trying to figure out some other. I'm like, I'm trying to make this super easy, and if I have to like buy parts and shit and try to get a clutch mounted up to this weed eater, because right now the weed eater, the clutch is just like a stamped piece of metal with like the two little gears on the inside, so you gotta rev it up, and then it'll finally grab and start going. Uh, they were like, oh no, you're gonna burn that fucking thing up. I'm like, well, let's burn it up, and then I'll fucking decide to swap shit over. You know, and it's gonna be for my son. I mean, I would like to ride it, but I think as long as I start getting to moving, and even for my son, maybe not so much for my son, but especially if I wanted to ride it. But I don't know if I'm gonna fit on this damn thing. I think I think I'm way over the weight limit, and I don't want to bend the rim, and that is a high possibility. I'm gonna just get on there, and the rim is gonna bend over. So probably just get it built, make it work, make it cool, and then let my son ride around on it. And then I don't think he's gonna burn that clutch up, at, or it's gonna take a while for him to burn that clutch up. But it would be so fucking cool if I could just, you know, and then he just gets on it and just a little weed eater dirt bike, no suspension or anything. But give him something. I think it'd be really fun. Oh, this is saying the highway is shut down. That's great. Detour ahead. Okay, we'll just take the detour, motherfucker. Yeah, so I don't know. Hopefully that's a project that I'm actually gonna pursue and do and take care of. To never have too many projects going on at once. Now, this is something I thought about doing it for a while, but I just hadn't done it. Um, yeah, and they do sell on Amazon. If you search on Amazon, mini bike motor or mini bike engine or whatever, there is a couple of cheap, like $40, and you can buy it's like a whole kit that you can just mount to a bike or whatever, and that might be a better way to do it. So if this doesn't work out, maybe that's something I'll take care of. Maybe that's something I'll pick up and try to do it that way. That would be more ideal, but I don't know. I feel like, you know what? I'm not going to let people tell me it's not going to work. I'm just going to try it and find out for myself and let them call me a fool whenever it doesn't work. I guess. I don't fucking know. I don't give a shit. Um yeah, and then so another thing, I didn't talk about it because I deleted a couple of podcasts, but um I don't know. We got a guy. Uh, he seems like he's well respected around the place. I don't know. I've heard some of the new people. They're like, "Yeah, that guy's a fucking asshole," and I'm like, "Yeah, yep, he is." Out of all the people that we work with, I would say he's probably the biggest asshole we work with. He thinks his shit don't stink. He knows what the fuck is going on, and I just don't. I don't know. I try not to be around him too much, but anyways, so he's a Class B driver. So that's the first thing. He's Class B. I don't even think he's got his has, which is fine. I mean, a lot of people don't. It's okay. I'm not saying I'm better than him because I have a has, but and I don't even want to be better than him. I'm just this guy's a fucking asshole. He is a good worker. He can think for himself, so that's good. But I don't know, because he's gone to go get his Class A. Today is his third try, and he hasn't even made it past the pre-trip yet. And I don't want to be that guy like poking at him and making fun of him, but it's just kind of funny. It's kind of funny for this guy to be an asshole, and to think his shit don't stink, and he can't even pass his pre-trip. Now he's making the claim that because whenever I did my pre-trip, and we even have another guy that I think he's not very bright. He passed his pre-trip. He's a Class A driver now. So this guy, you would think he would just go in there and do it. And I think that's what he thought was going to happen. But and he hasn't even come to me. He's not going to come to me for any questions or answers or anything. He's surrounded by other people that he thinks are more important than I am, which is fine. I don't really want to help him anyways, but I'm like, brother, you just pointed every fucking thing, everything. You need to know what everything is and point at it and say it's not bent, broken, or missing. It doesn't have any illegal welds, all that good shit. Just do that. Just every single thing, because everything on your truck is important, down to your door seals and your door handle, your hinges, your window trim, your window seal, your window goes up and down. All these are important things that your truck needs to be able to do. Your seat is secured. Your steering wheel is secured. Your horn works. Your blinker works. Your headlights, your gauges, every gauge, your headlights, your everything. I mean, your window seal for your windshield, your visors. I'm like, just point at. That's what I've been telling other people to do, is point at everything. Now, what he's claiming is that they have a checklist, and you are not to deviate from the checklist. So what he's saying is that if you're checking things that aren't on the checklist, you're actually losing points. And I'm like, that makes no fucking sense at all. If you're going through and saying that, everything is good to go, and they're like, oh, yeah, all those things are good to go, but those don't matter. That doesn't make any fucking sense to me at all. So, I don't know. That's what he's claiming. That's why he says he hasn't passed it. I think, well, the second time was because he got in to do his his leak down test or whatever, where you just pump the brakes and wait for the alarm to start sounding for low air with the truck off, and he forgot to turn the key on. So he was pumping it down and was like, it's not alarming. And then he turned the key on, and he's saying that that's why he lost points or failed, because of that one thing. I don't know. He's going to be a super trucker once he gets in. He's going to keep trying. Nothing's going to keep him from keep trying. So I guess keep trying, but just know. I mean, it took me 2 tries. So I'm not that much better than him. But I passed my pre-trip first time. I passed my pre-trip. I passed my skills test. And I passed my driving except for my shifting. That was the deal. And that was because everybody told me you have to double clutch. And the lady, that was the only thing I missed. She was like, "Hey, you just need to work on your shifting. You're not grabbing the gears good enough, not too happy about that." I'm like, "Okay, I understand." And she was like, "You can get an automatic." I'm like, "No, I don't want no fucking automatic." So I went again with a different truck, a truck that, because I was using the school truck. Didn't really like the school truck at all. It was wore out. And so we ended up taking our truck up to the place and our trailer, and I did the test and passed. You know how I passed? I floated the fucking gears. And still to this day, the good mechanic at our shop, he's saying you got to float the gears. And I'm like, that's a lie. He's like, no, it's not. You have to float. You have to double clutch. I'm like, no, 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 no. You drive that thing as smooth as you fucking can. He's like, no, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, okay. I guess I don't. I'll fucking shut the fuck up. Go fucking hang out over here. You guys can keep doing your fucking test. Just go over there, keep doing it every day. Just go back and do it again. I'm like, dude, because he hasn't even got to the driving part. He hasn't even got to the skills part yet. So that's where I'm curious. Like, if he can master the pre-trip that they are requiring of him, that's good. But you got more shit to do after the pre-trip. The pre-trip, you're not even driving, dude. So I'm interested to see how he's going to do. He's going out today, so they're giving him nothing else to do. They're like, you only focus on getting that Class A, and you know why? Because we've been losing so many Class A drivers. So they're working on it. They're trying to get him to where he's doing good. Maybe he can take over my fucking job. That'd be wonderful. Another guy to take over my fucking jobs. God damn it. Um. Say I don't know. I feel a little. I don't know how I feel about it. But I'm looking. I'm like, that guy. Look at that guy. Look at that guy. He passed, and he's a Class A driver now. He went from having no license to, well, having just a regular car license to Class A license, and now all he's got to do is do his background check and shit, and then he's good to get his has permit. And me and another guy, we both agreed that maybe he should just be a Class B driver. We even talked to the boss about it. We're like, just put him in Class B. Don't have him anywhere else. He'll be good at a Class B. And no, now he's driving semi trucks around, and he's been doing okay. So I guess I got to give him some credit. He's been doing pretty fucking good. Hasn't crashed anything, so that's nice. And I've also crashed some stuff, but crashed a goddamn Class B, motherfucker. Flipped that goddamn back truck. But yeah, other than that, I did call up my lumber yard. I need to call them again. I haven't got a response back from them. I thought I would by now, but I'm going to call up a couple of the other guys that still work there and tell them to get in that lady's ear and say, "Hey, he called you. Call him back." Because one guy said, "Oh, I don't think we're hiring," and another guy said, "We are hiring and we want you back." So I don't know. It's going to pay like $4 more an hour, and it'll be steady 10-hour days, no weekends, no shaving, uh, much less stressful. I'll just, my truck is going to be full of lumber. Go out and deliver the lumber. Here's the addresses. Go do it. It seems like that might be more my speed, and it'll be union. Even though I've had some things to talk about the union, I'm not too much of a fan of the union, but if it's going to be lower insurance and more of a steady work and steady job and I guess union, maybe it'd be worth it. Going over there, I'd get me a day cab, a Mac day cab. Could be an automatic, could be a 10 speed, not sure. I think they're phasing out the 10 speeds. Um, Drag the trailer through the ditch a little bit there. Um, I think they've been phasing out the 10 speeds. They've been working on automatics. But they use a lot of Macs, and then I'd be in probably a flatbed, if not a curtain side, probably a flatbed though. And they don't do any tarping, which is nice. They used to do tarping, and that was always a bitch. but whatever. It just now that it's hourly, it's not a big deal to do tarping. But whenever they were paying a certain way, tarping just took extra time, which extra time just took money. It didn't take any money from you. It's just like you have to work longer for the same amount of pay, and it's like that's some bullshit. So I don't know. It seems like that might be something I might be really in store for is doing hauling the lumber, doing the lumber, haul that fucking wood. And I could end up on a job site trailer, which I've never done that, but I'd be interested in doing it. You know, driving out to I don't know, building sites where they're about to build, and you have a big roller trailer and you just unlock the rollers and fucking let that shit fucking loose and it'll just roll off the back of the truck. Now you get a little bit of damaged material sometimes doing it that way, and that just depends on who loaded the truck and how they loaded it. You know, you don't want to have one 52 footer sticking out and then a bunch of 40 footers next to it, because then it's whenever it hits the ground, either it's going to hit the ground and it's going to break that 52, or the 52 is sticking out on the other side and it's going to break, rolling off the trailer. You gotta know what you're doing there. Or best case scenario is they got a forklift there and they can just forklift it off. But um, I don't know. I'm interested in doing it. Call me back. Hey, lady, call me back. I called her, left her a voicemail and a text message, and she hasn't responded yet. So I don't know. Maybe they aren't hiring. Maybe there's nothing they can do. I don't know. Either way, it'd be cool to catch up with her. I haven't talked to her in a long time. Me and her go back quite a bit. I think back to 2013 is when I first started working at the lumber company. So I don't know. Interested. I'm over here in Pole Barn Garage country. I know Pole Barn Garage lives right over there. Might see him running around somewhere over here. Um, yeah, so I don't know. This is gonna be a little kind of a short episode. But hey, I'm gonna be on the road, so I'm gonna have more episodes coming out all week this week. So keep all 18 down. Adios. We'll talk to you later.